Pope Francis held a meeting with representatives of the Holy See, which included a majority of Vatican ambassadors. This meeting takes place once every 3 years. Some of the ambassadors came from unstable countries and faced many difficulties in traveling to Rome. Pope Francis shared his concern with them about the ongoing wars in the world and the risk of nuclear escalation.
È una terza guerra mondiale, diciamo. C'era prima lo Yemen, la Siria, 10 anni, poi il Myanmar, no? Tanti, ma erano lontano dall'Europa adesso è a casa in Europa.
Pope Francis thanked the ambassadors for bringing the Church to the most difficult places on his behalf. He told them that they have been reference points in the worst moments of turmoil. The Pope used the occasion to explain why synodality plays an important role in his pontificate. Learning to dialogue in unity has been a priority for popes for many years.
Era quella che San Paolo VI ha visto che mancava nella Chiesa occidentale, che l'aveva persa. E per questo alla fine del concilio aveva fatto il segretariato per il Sinodo dei Vescovi e tutta l'esperienza sinodale.
The Pope also asked them to study the new apostolic constitution and to set their sights on the next Jubilee in 2025.
First of all, I'd like to thank God. Second of all, I'd like to thank my whole entire Jumbo family on both sides, you know what I'm saying? I'd like to tell Tupac keep his guards up, we ride with him. And one other thing I'd like to say, any artist out there want to be an artist and want to stay a star, and don't want to have to worry about trying to be all in the video, all on the record, dancing.
Law Bureau.
You don't own the ass that you're sitting on.
What? Bro, what are you talking about, man?
To land and water, girl.
Warning. This video may cause cognitive dissonance.
So Pope Francis has ordered pretty much all Vatican entities to move all funds to the Vatican Bank by September 30th. So I'm just doing some cleanup. It's last week and this week and next week we had already designated as crunch time. And I think our intuition is very good. As far as that goes, at least it's going to be good for our timeline. But there's a lot of strange things going on right now, so that, I don't know, if you really, really feel moved to, want to feel good about what this fabulous, dark, crazy winter that's coming on, I'd be moving like right now. I'd be moving like Mach 10 with your hair on fire, baby. So that's what we're doing. So there's a lot of projects that we're working on that doesn't matter per se to you. Just understand that there is a major sense of urgency right now. Do you not feel that in your spirit? It just makes me almost want to vomit. I mean, I don't know what's going to happen. I never do know what's going to happen, but I know that I'm going to feel better about me and my family and my farm and my little place here if I know that I've done as much as I can in the time frame that I feel I should. And I hope you have that sense of urgency right now. So here's the deal. Listen, I'm not a banker. Okay? I'm not a financial advisor. I'm not Catholic, and this has nothing to do with anybody being Catholic. But I have a question. You know how you see something and you just kind of go, well, what in tarnation is going on there? You can go Google it. Okay, I haven't seen this anywhere. I haven't seen anybody talking about it really. Maybe it's nothing, and I'm just a silly, simple, old, crazy little redneck hillbilly girl out here, trying not to get more blisters on her hands. But, So I don't know, when I see something big, whether it's a church, whether it's a major institute, whether it's a business, I don't know, and it's like all of a sudden, we've got to get all of our millions and millions of dollars from all over here to right here in like 3 weeks, 4 weeks. Do it now. Can you do it? When I start seeing stuff like that, it kind of makes you go, things that make you go, you know? Yeah, I mean, I feel a little CNC music factor coming on in my brain. Maybe that's just the way that I'm wired. So I'm going to connect, and I know somebody's going to get on here and say, well, it's just because of hoochie coochie doochie loochie moochie. Don't worry about it. I don't want to worry about it. I'm really not that worried about it, but I don't know. I just saw that article in several, and I've looked it up, and it seems to be legit. So apparently, now I'm not Catholic, okay? Not. I don't know much about this at all. I'm not going to claim to. I'm going to let you know about it so that you can go do your research, think what you want. It doesn't change how I feel about it. Here's what I know. In the articles that I read, so obviously there was some big debacle with millions of dollars, just millions of dollars. Over the years with situations with funds having to do with, I guess, the Catholic Church. I don't know if there's been scams. I don't know. All the articles kind of say the same thing, but each of them have different details. So I read several, and I'm just trying to get this information to you. So basically what the Pope wants to do is to move all funds to the Vatican. I guess they have their own little central bank situation over there. I'm asking you. You tell me. What I found interesting is in a couple of the articles that I read, maybe they're just quoting each other, is they've been concerned about problems that have been happening for decades. Decades? That's plural. I'm decades. So, I mean, how long has that been going on? When you say decades, to me that means at least not 1 or 2, maybe 3 or 4. That's almost as old as me. I don't know. You tell me. I don't know. So why are they all of a sudden like, whip it up, y'all, whip it nay-nay. We've got to get our money moved. And it's not just like, hey, at the end of 2023, hey, we're trying to resolve all of these issues and get everything into one location. You know, it's like having all of your beanie weenies in one location. You know, if you have to have an organized pantry, you want your beanie weenies and your Spam in one central location. So they want their money, millions of dollars in one location. And I'm just saying, well, why? I'm saying, okay, well, why now? And why such an immediate rush, I guess? Am I reading this right? Am I crazy? September 30th? Oh, that's kind of quick. I don't know if I could move millions of dollars that quick. Why the rush? So I'm just gonna let that joggle your brain. Could be nothing. Probably is. And again, I don't have any beef with the Pope. You know, I don't know. I'm not Catholic. I just sort of, try to pay attention to things and go, isn't that interesting? And then I go about my business and I go, what's my gut telling me as far as what I need to be doing and how I need to be proceeding and what do I need to get into canning jars and what I need to organize, and Lord have mercy.
You don't own the ass that you're sitting on.
What? Oh.
She don't want my love, I guess I gotta move on. Hey, oh yeah.
I believe our government is interested in liberating Ukrainians, like I believe that the Black Lives Matter riots were about liberating Black Americans, which is to say, not at all.
Oh no, if she don't want my love, I'm guessing I gotta move on. I guess I came a little too strong, I guess. If she don't want my love, I guess I gotta move on, I guess.
There's never had a political party that's ever done anything specifically and tangibly, strictly for black people. Never been done. I don't care whether it was a politician from the highest level in the government to the lowest. Black, white, yellow, mellow, red, polka dot, they've never done anything. And that violates the primary position and purpose of politics. Politics is a process that decides who's going to get what benefits out of life. Now, so what has the Democratic Party ever promised you? Nada. Zero. Zilch. And what are you voting for? I mean, that shows your stupidity. And whoever made that for him, that shows that he's even dumber than the ones that asked him to do some stuff like that. You come to me, and as a matter of fact, all my life I run campaigns. Who would be putting out that dumbass stuff on black people? Who is that dumb? I run campaigns. I would never ask a black person just to vote. You must vote for what? If politics is deciding what benefits you're going to get, that's the first question you should be asking. If my vote is not voting, voting is immaterial. Because you see, in reality, underneath that whole suggestion, blacks don't have any voting power. You have no voting power. What you have is show and tell power. That means all you do is get out there and dance and sing and have to tell people, y'all vote for this guy. We are the only people that will vote for anything to get nothing. Nobody else is that damn dumb. And it's a process that originated around the 15th or 16th century over in France. Word politica, which means go vote. But you're supposed to be voting for something to get something in return based on the simple premise of quid pro quo. What am I getting? Why am I voting? What am I supposed to get out of it? We are the only people that are suffering from a mentality that is 500 years old, and it was not worth a quarter back during slavery. When they go out and buy a black person for a chicken, every election for the few free blacks you had in the country that could vote. Because in those days, and you could vote if you own property. There were a few blacks that owned property, and they could vote. And so they give him a chicken, he'll go out and vote. He didn't care who the person was, he just voted for the damn chicken. I don't know one black leader in America that I would call a leader. Not one. We don't have one in America. And that's why I said probably maybe by this coming December, I think I'm going to get I'm going to get as far away from politics as I can. Because I'm so embarrassed all the time. I said, I'm not going to play the game anymore. I don't want to participate. Because somebody tell me right now, Dr. Anderson, you got the right to vote. And I said, yeah, I got the right to go into that casino too. But I know for a fact that the dice are loaded, the games are rigged, and the cards are marked. Why in the hell I want to go in there when I can't win?
She don't want my love, I guess I gotta move on. Hey, oh yeah, oh yeah. But she don't want my love, I guess I gotta move on. Oh yeah, oh no. If she don't want my love, I'm guessing I gotta move on. I guess I came a little too strong, I guess. She don't want my love, I guess I gotta move on, I guess.
Why did Candace Owens and Kanye West wear White Lives Matter t-shirts last night at his Yeezy Season 9 show here in Paris? I'm still in Paris. Here's the shirt, by the way, if you're listening. You can probably find it anywhere online. It seems we broke the internet, but if you're watching, here it is, the notorious White Lives Matter shirt, which has inspired a meltdown, a breakdown for some people. I think my question is, why? Why did this t-shirt or our t-shirts inspire such a meltdown for so many people? All right, guys, it is true. The internet is broken. You cannot use the internet today. It's not working anywhere in the world because I wore a t-shirt alongside Kanye West, which read White Lives Matter. And God forbid you wear a t-shirt that says White Lives Matter. We wore this for his Yeezy Season 9 fashion show here in Paris. And people are upset. They're very upset about that. They're going, why on earth? How could you? How dare you wear this shirt? How dare you make a mockery of the BLM movement? In addition to this, in case you missed it on Kanye West's Instagram page, he wrote this: everyone knows that Black Lives Matter was a scam. Now it's over. You're welcome. I'm doing an entire documentary to expose the fraudulent nature of that movement and the organization that stood behind it and benefited billions and billions of dollars because they elicited Black grief. They sold Black people a concept of their oppression. They used poorer Black Americans as a marketing firm for their organization. And where did that money go? Well, certainly not to Black America. So I had this wonderful thing this morning, this wonderful experience, and I'll tell you why it was wonderful. I had breakfast with Ye at his hotel, and it was wonderful because it was one of those moments where I realized how far I've come from where I was. The first time that I ever came to Paris, ironically, I was having breakfast with a woman whose family I worked for, and she was so awful to me. And I'll never forget this moment because it almost ruined Paris for me. It was a wealthy woman who told me as we sat in her hotel, which was the George Cinq Hotel, she said, Candace, a girl like you shouldn't even be here. Look how expensive the omelet is that you're eating. Do you see how expensive it is? An omelet is $35. A girl like you can't afford this hotel, or you can't afford to stay here. And I remember I was so upset that when I left that breakfast, I was crying because I was so angry that anybody had spoken to me like that. And fast forward, I guess, more than 10 years now, and I am sitting at a hotel with having an omelet, by the way, with Ye West, and we are discussing the internet, which we just broke over this t-shirt. And I just started jotting down some things that he was saying because he was actually giving an interview to another magazine, and he said, I perform for an audience of one, and that's God. I loved that statement, so I wrote it down. He also said, quote, utopia is possible were it not who we are being led by, which of course leads me to think about Black Lives Matter again, and these people who claim to be leaders and knew that what they were doing was further dividing the masses. I mean, the whole idea here via the Black Lives Matter movement was to make sure that Black people saw oppression and saw white supremacy surrounding them, and convincing them that if they leaned into this narrative that somehow their lives would be better. It was a mirage. Actually, that's a word that Ye used during the breakfast too. It was basically a mirage, right? This idea that somehow all we needed to do was burn down our own neighborhoods. All we needed to do was have our youth wearing a George Floyd t-shirt. All we needed to do was loot Target and loot these expensive stores, and somehow justice would be delivered. And of course it wasn't. There is a deep irony and a sad irony when you consider that wearing a t-shirt has led such a tremor throughout the world, right? A t-shirt that says White Lives Matter, which should be implied, right? White Lives Matter, Black Lives Matter, Asian Lives Matter, it should be implied. Yet people are angry and they are being vicious online because they can't believe that we have the audacity to detract from the movement, which is a lie, right? Black Lives Matter. If Black Lives Matter, then some of these things that we have been talking about on this show, things I've been talking about throughout my entire political career, would be getting attention. Not the t-shirt, right? Not the t-shirt, but these actual statistics that matter. And here are just a few of them. 117,626 Black children were killed by surgical abortion in the United States in 2018, right? Those are recent statistics. Just so we are clear, abortion in America has contributed to the greatest decline in Black population since the first Black slaves arrived. You will hear people often talk about lynching. This is like a new thing. They like neoliberalism. They can talk about lynching and they compare everything to lynchings. It's just like being lynched. Well, for your reference, you should know that 4,467 people in the United States were victims of lynchings from 1883 to 1941. 3,265 of those people were Black. and you keep talking about lynching as this horrific thing that's happened in the past, right? And yet when you say to people today that 20 million black infants were aborted, they don't even blink an eye. They don't even bat an eyelash. No, less than batting an eyelash. They tell those same black people that they need to be outraged when a Planned Parenthood clinic shuts down. 20 million. When you talk about people that are killed in the millions, when you talk about the Jewish Holocaust, when you talk about the Rwandan Holocaust, people are, oh my gosh, oh my, this is horrible. Of course, because it is horrible. But for whatever reason, since we have convinced ourselves to genocide our own offspring, nobody cares. Nobody cares. They don't bat an eyelash. In fact, they tell you that it is your right. So think about that. 20 million black babies, and yet a t-shirt is what got attention last night. In 2012, more black babies were killed by abortion in New York City than were born. Imagine that, your abortion rate being higher than your live birth rate in a city, and they celebrate it. 79% of Planned Parenthood abortion facilities are located within walking distance of neighborhoods that have a higher proportion of Latina and black women.
She don't want my love, I guess I gotta move on. Hey, oh yeah, oh yeah. But she don't want my love, I guess I gotta move on. Oh yeah, oh no. She don't want my love, I'm guessing I gotta move on. I guess I came a little too strong, I guess. She don't want my love, I guess I gotta move on, I guess.
There are times when you'll need someone, I will be by your side. Oh, darling. There is a light that shines special for you and me. You need to look at the other side. You'll agree. Darling, open your eyes.
Absolutely.
And I'm going to just share this short line because I could feel the energy of the thought. A lot of some of the people were thinking, or why was I mentioning the tunnel chambers of hell? There's the real meaning of hell, just for a few who didn't get it. Hell, Henry Campbell Black's Law Dictionary, 4th edition revised. Hell, the name formerly given to a place under the executor's chamber where the king's debtors were confined, and put that in perspective with what they call taxpayers and the Vatican's operations of the Jesuits' operations known as the Federal Reserve